obviously preseason started as well too. I don't know if you've been able to catch any highlights or anything like that.
Yeah.
Is there anything that kind of stands out to you for NBA preseason?
I always just love seeing like a lot of the rookies or like young players play. I think Zach Edey looks really good for Memphis. I think he's. I mean, we'll see when it comes to actual. That's you always got to take the preseason with a grain of salt, but um, I think he fits in. I don't know if his toughness, mental toughness or whatever, is going to be the same as Steven Adams, but like everything else, it feels like he kind of fills that role for them, and he's even bigger. So like we've just seen some like pick and rolls between him and Ja. That's honestly that team in general. I think the Grizzlies are going to be. I think they've had the potential to be a top four seed in the West too,
So,
because to me they are basically the same team that just won 50 games like 2 years ago. The only thing that happened last year is they didn't have their best player, and all their other guys, like Jaren, I think was the only one who played most of the games. Like Desmond Bain missed half the year. Like all their guys were out, and they traded away Marcus Smart. So
oh,
I
he's
think.
gone now. What
Oh
team is
no,
he on?
no, I'm
You talking
sorry.
about
They got
Dylan Brooks?
Marcus
Dylan
Smart. They
Sparks.
traded. Yeah, they got rid of Dylan Brooks. I thought there was someone else they got rid of too. But even Marcus Smart was out for like most of last year as well.
Yeah.
Um, so I just think that there's no reason to believe that they're going to be a bad team again.
Mm-hmm.
Because when Ja only played 9 games, in those 9 games, they were a good team. They were a playoff team. So that's just being said. I think they look really nice. Uh, it's some of these other teams. Yeah, I'll say this. I'm excited to see Lonzo. Lonzo's gonna play apparently next week, um, so that should be fire. But it hasn't been anything. It was cool seeing Paul George do some stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Chris Paul with the Spurs.
Yeah.
Um, but it just makes me honestly preseason just makes me ready for the regular
For
season.
the races, yeah. No, I agree with you as well too. Been following the Spurs obviously as well too more than ever. So I'm excited to see Chris Paul, Wemby little action as well too. They got their little alley for the first time as well. So I think Wemby. It's been so long. I wish I had the archives to like pull up right now. But you and I talked about like what we thought going into his rookie year, how much he'd average. I'm curious to see like what his output's gonna look like this year as well too, because he played under 30 minutes last year and
It
still
depends
had
on if
like
they gonna
20 and
unleash
10.
him.
Mm-hmm. I think they will this year.
I don't know, man. I could see him being kind of like honestly like Westbrook or Giannis. Some of these guys that it took. Oh, honestly, Westbrook never really. Well, maybe not never, but once he was really him, he was never actually playing like even like 35 minutes a game really. Um, I think just certain guys, like they're putting a lot into the minutes they're out there.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't see Pop. I don't see it. I would love to see it though. I don't see Pop playing him like 36 minutes a
No,
game.
I think like 34, 33, 34. I think that's fair.
33 would be nice. That
Mm-hmm.
would be nice. If that's the case, I can see. I mean, he's for sure at least 25.
Mm-hmm.
At least 25.
Yeah,
And they didn't really add any other pieces outside of Chris Paul, so
and we got
they got some people in the
Harrison
draft.
Barnes.
But
And,
yeah,
yeah, the draft pieces.
but just to say, like, I think there'll be a lot of offense for him. So
Yeah.
I think that 25 should be the minimum,
Mm-hmm.
especially honestly with the way that scoring is in the league now.
Yeah. My cousins are arguing with me and saying that the Spurs should be a playing team this year. You think so?
You don't?
It's hard for me to put it together. Um,
I was gonna ask you actually.
I would want to say they can, but like you said, it comes down to Chris Paul's health. If Pop allows Wemby to ramp up even more, and see what the veteran presence has to offer. I like what we have, but and then I also like Stephon Castle, which I've been enjoying watching as well too. I think we were pretty solid with that pick as well, and learn under Chris Paul. I can see why they were saying his upside is going to be like a bigger Drew Holiday. I can definitely see that, but I don't know yet if we're flirting with like the very last spot. So keep going from like 10 to 12. I'm not sure. I got to see them play a little bit more.
I think that they can make the play in. Mainly, I think all of it, of course, like you're saying, it all revolves around Wemby to me. Chris Paul, health be damned, honestly. I think that if Wemby's able to be out there enough to like fully impact the game, whether that's minutes wise or like whether that's games played wise, I think that his splits were insane. Like when he was on the court, they were a good team.
Yeah.
So,
And now they have a closer because a lot of the games they also lost, they were close games they just didn't know how to close. So you got one of the best closers historically speaking, and another veteran present, Harrison Barnes. Vassell coming back.
Because he missed a lot of time with injury, didn't he, last year?
Yeah. So we'll see. I don't know. If Terrence here try to make me make a bet, I always lose. But I'm not sure. You talked about Lonzo Ball. I'm happy to see LaMelo Ball. The head of Puma. We got to see you play because people forget. I feel like what we saw with Tyrese Halliburton, that's where he was trying to get to, but injuries kind of like Steph Curry kind of derailed him a little bit.
He's nicer than when he was playing.
When he's playing,
at the time,
I'm saying just the praise that he like Tyrese has been getting lately.
Mm-hmm.
That's what we should be talking about with LaMelo, but he can't stay on the floor.
And he's on the Hornets.
But when he was on the Hornets, when he was healthy, they were always a play-in team at least. So I expect them to be somewhat better, and I'm curious to see with Bridges being back in the fold yet again, and then I'm curious to see what Brandon Miller's second year is going to be like as well too. So hopefully he's healthy because he's a killer.
Brandon Miller?
No.
Oh, LaMelo.
LaMelo Ball.
Brandon Miller, I think, is a killer, but which is actually no pun intended.
Murder Miller.
But LaMelo, you know what? I honestly have a vendetta against bro because I've drafted him. I want to say back-to-back years in fantasy basketball, and bro just decides like, yeah, I'm gonna show y'all like for 5 games that I'm cold, and then I'm about to miss the rest of the season.
Yeah.
But no, I mean he's like you're saying, if he plays, he has all the tools. He's supposed to be good. I just do think that, and we'll see, but it does feel like the culture of Charlotte has gotten to his game. I think that he can be kind of just loose and sloppy, and I don't know if he takes it as seriously, which I think it's hard for a lot of them to take it seriously because they never win. Exactly, it's a losing culture. They don't bring around the right players, and they just let them do whatever too. So it'll be interesting. I think that again he has all the tools, but I hope he stays healthy.
Yeah, I do too.